AITA for not taking the next elevator when a mom with 7 children demanded it of me? A neighbor of mine has 7 children and they are all under the age of 9. I have seen her many times, and she always demands people take the next elevator because she has kids who need to get home. She has physically shoved into the elevators and forced people out, including my elderly father. I was on my way home from work. I take public transit and she was on the bus with all kids. They were screaming and running up and down the aisle, basically making such a scene that the driver asked her to have the kids sit down before they get hurt. Sure enough, one of the kids was spinning around one of the poles and bumped her head as we were going over the train tracks near my place and started screaming. She looked like she was physically okay. No blood. Not even a red mark. But she screeched the rest of the ride to the building. I was first in the building and hit the elevator button. She came in with her double stroller and her gaggle of children running around her as I stepped into the elevator and held the door for her. She told me that I would have to get out and wait for the next one. I said, "Excuse me?" She heavy-sighed at me and said, "My stroller won't fit in with you in here. Get out and take the next one." I refused, saying I would make myself as tiny as I could, but I was staying in the elevator. She became irate, pointed at her kids and said, "Do you see what I'm dealing with here?" I said I understood that it's overwhelming, but I had worked a long day and I needed to get home. I said, "In or out? Because I'm going now." She pulled her stroller and kids out, calling me an asshole the entire time. A few people were waiting behind her and got in with me. 2 began thanking me for standing up to her because she does this all the time, but the other one called me an asshole for not being sympathetic to her situation. I don't think people should have to make constant accommodations for people just because they have kids, especially when they're rude and demanding. But AITA here? Edit. People are concerned with the way that this woman has treated my father. She did not physically touch him. He was in the elevator and she pushed her stroller in, waved her arms and yelled at him to get out several times. Because he's hearing impaired, he was very confused and only knew that she was yelling at him, and he got off the elevator. Had she put her hands on him, charges would have been filed. So someone called you an AH after they took advantage of being able to get on the elevator. BCU. Stuck up for yourself? NTA. NTA. Especially since she has a history of kicking people out of the elevator? Like TF is wrong with this lady. NTA. You got on the elevator first and she can wait. She reeks of entitlement, and I sure hope those kids don't grow up to be like her. She really needs someone to tell her that she can't always be given a pass because she's 7 young children. She chose to have those kids, so she needs to deal with the consequences. NTA. If she touches anyone again, you should speak to building management about her hostility and potentially the police. An elderly person could fall and easily break a hip. Happens all the time without being shoved. NTA. What's her situation? Not using birth control? Person facepalming light skin tone female sign. NTA. It's not your fault that she's got way more kids than she can handle. Plus, you were even nice enough to hold the door open for her and give her a chance to ride with you. Personally, the minute I step inside an elevator, the first button I press is the door close button. I have 3 kids and I've had to wait for the next elevator. Kids need to learn patience. NTA. She and her children are no more or less important than anyone else in your building. Making demands of others is never okay. She's simply manipulating people because she knows her situation will pull on heartstrings. She's nothing but a bully. Your response was candid, polite and amply accommodating. Carry on with confidence. NTA. The sympathetic one who called you an asshole that happened to jump in the elevator with you. That's rich. NTA. But it's quite funny that the third person called you an asshole but had no problem getting on the elevator once the lady and her kids came out. NTA. I have 5 kids and it was my choice to have my gaggle of spawns. That means if anyone is inconvenienced by them, it's me and or my spouse. Elevator too full to fit our family? We wait for the next one since we take up much more space and that's no one else's problem. You don't get to reproduce and make it someone else's responsibility to accommodate you and your children. Mom sounds like she needs some parenting classes. Those children are running her life instead of her actually parenting them. NTA. She made the choice to have kids. More than that, she made the choice to have 7 of them. Seriously. That is just too many. Especially within a 9-year time span. If she makes that choice. Tough luck if it is hard. But that is what she chose. NTA. You should leave a box of condoms at her door. NTA. Having a lot of children doesn't give you license to act rude. In the least. Ask nicely and request, not demand. NTA. It's an elevator, not an expressway. There's no HOV lane and she didn't even say, please. NTA. I'm a parent and I know my kids are my problem and mine alone. Even if she was polite, you're under no obligation to give her a free pass to cut every line and force everyone else to wait. But if she's not even polite, oh buddy, lean in and say the quiet things out loud. TL. Doctor, you dropped this crown. A few people were waiting behind her and got in with me. One called me an asshole for not being sympathetic to her situation. They got in the elevator, which had room for them only because you stood up to the mom. And they still called you an NTA at all, and the person who said you were as an idiot lol. NTA. Not your circus. NTA. You were in the lift first. First come first served. If she has any issue with sharing, she would have to wait for her turn. NTA. How would she like if she or her kids were physically removed from the elevator? Entitled and worthy of no respect.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.